Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So you join me from my cozy little office here at home. It's very small, but I try and make the most use out of it. As you can see with my storage rack behind me, my humidity controlled cabinet for all my camera gear, that's where my gear gets stored when not in use. I've actually done a video on this, so I'll link it at the end of this video so you can go and check it out. So yeah, what I want to talk to you today is some brand new gear arrived this week, which I'm stoked that it's here, and I'm stoked to have it. So a lot of this gear I've been really wanting for quite a number of years, and I just can't believe I've got it now. Yeah, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory. So the reason why I got into Hasselblad, so about 10 years ago I printed off this photo from the internet, and it was a photo of a Hasselblad, a H series camera. I can't remember what it was, but I really liked it, and I always thought, wow, it'd be so great to have a camera like that one day, but I never thought I'd own it. I thought that would be the closest thing I had, and then I had an accident where I broke my back, and I was limited on what I could do, and I wasn't sure what I could do. Like photos I would do, because I was a motorsports photographer for a number of years, and now I had nothing. I had to start from scratch, and I thought, well, landscapes would probably be an idea, and that's when I decided to go into Hasselblad. Why not have a go? I'm selling all my kit. I could buy something used, and that's what I've done, and I started buying lenses, and then in March, about 5 years ago, I bought myself a H 4D 31, and that was it was a struggle to learn. But I know I'm rambling on a little bit here, so I'm not going to talk too much here about it. But yeah, it just really made me rethink photography and what photography meant to me. It was a camera that I really struggled with. It was something that if I worked fast with, because it's not a fast camera, you don't work quickly with it, you work slowly with it, and that's how it treats. And if you work fast with it, or try and work fast with it, it just stops in its tracks like a little dog that doesn't want to go any further on its walk, and it just, digs its legs down, puts its head down, and just anchors down. So yeah, that's what the camera does. It's a really aggressive machine, but if you get it right, it can be your best friend. So yeah, that's the end of that little thing. But yeah, it's a long dream of mine to own this setup, and I'm so glad I do. And I think this setup I won't be changing for maybe 10, 20 years. So yeah, so long as the cameras still function, then I'm all happy. So yeah, the reason why, so I had a bit of I lost my old H4D, and I claimed it on insurance, and it allowed me to get the X1D, yeah, the original. I was going to say Mark II, yeah, but yeah, it's the original. Superb camera to this day. A lot of the problems that it said, and a lot of people that say there's problems with it, that has all been rectified. They had multiple firmware updates. There's features in this camera that are not in the instructions. Yeah, so even there's still things I'm finding out new. I pressed a button the other day by accident, and I could change the size of the focus points just by the button, which isn't in the instructions. It's not anywhere. So yeah, and it's such a robust, and it's such a good camera. This is what year are we in now? 2022. This came out in 2016. 6 years old, but it still produces goods. And I've got a camera here which is 12 years old, and I took some photos recently with it, and it's just superb. But the technology is older. There's limitations with it, and I'm going to go into a little bit of a pros and cons between the two. Both of these level each other out, because what that camera can't do, this camera can do. So yeah, I've got the best of both worlds, so I can easily switch out. So right, now to go into the gear. So I also, by the way, before I actually do that, I had a load of CF cards. Now there's two more as well, that are compact flash that I have, but I just haven't been able to use anymore. And I was sort of gutted that I'm not being able to use these anymore, because it feels like I don't want to throw away a bit of old technology that is still useful. So yeah, anyway, so to get into the first thing is the camera. So I picked this one up from B&H. I was going to get it from MPB, but I went onto B&H and I thought I'd just check out their used section, and then this beauty came up. Now this is the Hasselblad H4D40. It's in remarkable condition. It looks basically in mint condition. The only reason why they gave it like a rating out of 8 plus is because of the shutter count, but the outside of this body is just immaculate. There isn't any wear on the grip or on here where you normally get a shine or the paint going off. There's no wear on the outside here, so I feel I don't. When it comes to normally second-hand gear, I rough it around a little bit. You know, I don't mind putting it down on the ground, but this I'm a bit dubious because it's so old. It's just pristine, and I want to keep it that way. But I know it's a camera that you use, so yeah, I'm trying not to baby it too much, but I also love it. So yeah, the reason why I also like this is I miss the optical viewfinder. So there's times when I'm looking through the X1D, which is electronic viewfinder, and in low light I just can't see. I can't focus manually because I've got to focus all manually with the X1D unless I use the X lenses on it, and I've only got one of those, and that's the 45. So with the optical viewfinder, even in the sort of low light, I can still fine-tune my focus, but this doesn't have live view, which I miss, which the X1D has. So you can see where I'm sort of making those compromises. The X1D is weather sealed. This isn't. The X1D has two card slots. This doesn't. This has just the one, but it's just fine. This is heavy. It weighs about 2.2 kilos. This is much lighter. I think it's just over a kilo or something. I don't know off the top of my head, but it feels much lighter, and it's got a newer sensor. The reason I also went for this is it's also modular, so I can take the viewfinder off. I've actually got another accessory I bought, which is a waist level viewfinder. So what I can do is, once I've taken off this, I can put this little guy on. So it's a little bit tricky to put on. Still lining up, and then there we go. So that allows me, so if I'm working in sort of a tight situation, well, it's getting a bit brighter out there, I'll just shut the blind a little bit. That's not shutting it. Yeah, so if I'm working in a situation where I'm more like waist level, or I'm working in a cramped space, I can use this. I can pop this up and I can look down, get my composition right, and then I can fold this over and then look down, and it's such a large viewfinder. It's just insane. You've really got to try one of these cameras out to just view it. It's like you're in a cinema. It really is a huge screen, and you can get your focus really accurately. And I still, even with this detached, I've got autofocus, because it's I don't know how it works, but I've still got autofocus for some reason. Maybe it's with the focus screen that is below it. So the focus screen is just there. Will my camera focus? Yep, there we go. So the focus screen is just there. And so yeah, I said this camera is a modular system as well. So what I can do, I'll show you now. So the battery is actually a grip, so you can take that off, see it all coming apart. And then if I want to get to the sensor, so you normally, for a sensor clean on a DSLR, you have to flip the mirror up, put it into cleaning mode, and then reach through and clean your sensor. But with the Hasselblad, what I can do with just pressing one little button and then sliding another pin backwards is I can remove the camera sensor from the back of the body and just look at that. It's just glorious. Look at that sensor, it's just superb. Yeah, and this is quite an old sensor. So the camera is from 2012. Oh no, sorry, it came out in 2010, I looked that up. So this is made by Kodak, I believe. Last time I had a look, I think it was made by Kodak. I was looking at a few different cameras and sensors before I got this one. And it's a CCD. It's got a completely different look to it. It's got like it's got really kind of nice warm tones to it. Yeah, it's really nice. Where I find with the CMOS, it's a bit cooler, it's a bit more contrasty, but this is a bit more subdued, and I really like that look. The only problem is this can't go too high ISOs, so it's about 200, 400 you're pushing it. So I would normally keep this around 100 ISO, which I'm fine with. Where the X1D 12,000 ISO is fine, or 12,800 ISO is fine, but I wouldn't want to push any further beyond that because it's just goes to shit. But yeah, if I wanted to do anything in low light, the X1D, and not using this. But what I do like with this camera as well, so yeah, I'll show you how I put it back on. So there's a little guide here, there's a groove under here. So what you do is you line the two up and you click it together. And once you hear that click, it's locked in firmly. I was just going to grab the battery grip. So that the battery grip just slides on. And these are nice big capacity batteries it came with as well, so it's going to last me a while. That goes on like that. Then to put the viewfinder back on, just like that. And what you do have as well, which I don't know why we have it, but it's a cool little thing to have, is just a pop-up flash. So if you need a flash, there it is. So a lot of pro cameras don't have it, so I'm really surprised to see it on one of these. But yeah, love this camera, and I will get a nail bracket. I'm going to look at a really right stuff one, which I've had before on my old one, and I'll get it for this one. Sadly, Pro Media Gear don't do it, and understandable really. But yeah, so yeah, be getting one of those. But also, yeah, so also with that camera, I can't do really long exposures like I have been doing with the X1D. You know, with the X1D I've been doing like 30 minutes, sometimes up to 50 minutes. The Hasselblad H4D40 is limited to 4 minutes 16 seconds, I believe it was when I just looked the other day. That's going to work out great for a lot of my work. So yeah, if I need to go over that 4 minutes, I can use the X1D. The CCD sensor does have a problem with noise, so it can get kind of grainy, and if you just bring those files directly into Lightroom, it looks like rubbish. But if you bring it into Focus, the free Hasselblad software, it cleans up those files, and then you export it as a 16-bit TIFF, chuck into Lightroom, edit it there, do little fine-tunings in Photoshop, you're onto a winner, and it's just, oh, the images are so crisp, it's just unbelievable. But yeah, so I've also got plans on doing some aerial photography this year from Shark Bay out of a plane, and that's why I've also got the new camera, because with the X1D I don't have autofocus with my H lenses. I do with a 45mm lens, and I didn't want to buy a 90mm because I don't really like the X1D X glass. The reason why is if I need to change battery and I've got my composition set up, it resets the focus back to, you know, standard. I can't remember. I don't know if it goes to infinity, or I think it, I don't know. I think it just pulls it in. Then I have to refocus my shot. With the H glass, I don't have to worry about any of that. But anyway, let's get on to the other two items that I've got. So my next one is this 80mm lens. So yeah, glorious little lens, this one. Let me see if the camera focused. Yep, there we go. So we're locked on focus. So this one is a little bit higher in the condition. So this has got about 40-odd thousand photos it's taken. Yeah, so with Hasselblad, the shutter is in the lens. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. You don't have to worry about sync speeds or anything because it's a leap shutter system. Yeah, which is nice. So yeah, it's a little bit dirty inside, but I've got my 150mm lens, which is dirty. You can see little bits of debris in there, which you don't just see under a microscope or anything, but it doesn't interfere with the image quality whatsoever. The only time you'll have problems with image quality, things being more noticeable, is just if you've got damage on the rear element, not so much on the front elements or inside the lens. So yeah, unless you point at like a really bright object, then you might see things pop up. But yeah, stellar lens. I got it for about, I think, around $1,500 with the taxes and everything paid, and customs and shipping, and yeah. And then my last bit of equipment that arrived is this beauty. This is something I've been wanting for a long time. Now it does have a hood, which goes on like this, and you can make it look even bigger. Just look at that monster. So this is the Hasselblad HC 300mm f4.5 lens. I'm glad it's an f4.5. Imagine if it was like a 2.8 or something. It'd be a monster. It'd be huge. It'd be so heavy and even more expensive. So to buy this lens new, you're looking at about $13,000 from C.R. Kennedy. Yeah, and I bought this lens because there's been times with my 150mm lens that's actually in the cabinet behind me, I haven't got it out. I've just been falling short. I've said it in some of my videos, and yeah, it was just I've just been wanting more, and there's been some other projects I've been wanting to do, some other shots I just haven't been able to do. And with this, I can put a 1.7 time extender on this, so that'll bump up the focal length to if I consider the crop factor in of 0.79. With this, with the 1.7, it will be about 400 odd mil, which will be perfect. And I've got some shots that in mind that I want to get. Yeah, there's a shot that I want to get. I want to do some projects in the wheat belt, and I saw some really nice compositions when I was out there last year, and I really want to do that this year. And this lens is going to get used for it, so I might get that 1.7 time extender for it. Also, I will be able to use filters with this, but look at this 95mm filter thread on the front of this lens. Let me see if the camera will focus. Let's press the focus. There we go. So yeah, it's a big hefty front element, but I can put my Lee filter holder system on here and then use my hider filters. So yeah, it's really in remarkable condition as well. Go back to press focus there. So yeah, this lens is in remarkable condition. It's an excellent condition, no marks on it whatsoever. And this lens, get ready for it, has only taken 520 photos. It's just unheard of. Yeah, you wouldn't have that with a Canon or anything. These sort of lenses would have taken thousands if you count the aperture blades on those lenses, because we don't have a shutter in those lenses because it's all in body. But yeah, so this is rated for 100. I think it's 100,000 photos. The HCD lenses are rated for 1 million. And the XCD lenses are also rated for 1 million. So yeah, this might have 40 odd thousand photos on it. Might have taken 40 odd thousand photos, but this will last me 10, 20 years, maybe even longer, because I don't take many photos these days. You know, when I normally go on location, I'm normally taking around. If I'm, not doing any panos or anything like that, I'm probably walk away with about 20 or 30 images. Whereas before, with like my Canon, I'd walk away with maybe 200 or 300 images. So the medium format system is really slowing me down in a great way, and it's really beneficial for my photography. What I'm going to do quickly now is just show you what. Oh, that was a little bit tricky getting that off. I don't know why. What this looks like on the Hasselblad. So this is quite a heavy setup now. You're looking at about, I think, 4.5 kilos, maybe more. But it's so well balanced. It's so easy to hold. A bit of creaking from the hand grip here, but it's just perfect, and it works so nicely. And you've got the nice tripod collar as well. I forgot to mention that. So if you want to rotate the lens, go from landscape to portrait, you can easily do that there's a little knob just here. You can rotate it around like that, so it's nice and smooth. There's no notches like you have on the Canon and some of the other telephoto lenses. I do kind of miss that. I wish it had like a little notch so you could feel it when it hits that 90-degree mark. But also I don't miss it as well. I've got mixed emotions about it. But what you can also do is from these points here, let me just tap the focus. What you can do here is you can actually remove the lens foot by undoing a couple of little screws. But I don't see why you would do that, really, because it's just such a heavy lens, and unless you're going to do some video work with it, I don't know. But yeah, so that's about it. And also what I'll be able to do I have it out here? No, I don't. What I'll be able to do is use my MIOP stuff and capture lightning. I haven't been able to do that with the X1D. There's been little problems with it. So yeah, something to do with the shutter or something to do with the camera. There's a slight delay, and I just tried to capture lightning before, and I thought I was nailing them, and I see them in the images on the back of the camera, and they don't have any lightning in them. So I'll be able to use it with the H camera. Yeah, there's no delay, and I'll be able to use some flash photography as well. So if we I don't know what's going to happen here in Australia. We're still dealing with COVID. There's I think there's over 20,000 cases I don't know, the numbers keep going up and up, and it's going up at a fast rate as the more and more the virus is. But I think we've mainly got Omicron here. We do have a little bit of Delta, so the news just mixes all the viruses all into one basically, and just says we've got this many cases and sort of worries the community. Yeah, it's over worrying. You can't worry about this anymore. It's out there. You just got to live with it and move on, really, and do the best you can to protect yourself from it. I still wear a mask when I go out, but yeah, I try not to live in fear and worry about it too much. And it just feels bad inside. But anyway, I'm rambling on a little bit here. But yeah, I done this video a few days ago as well, but I just wasn't happy with it, so I wanted to do something a bit better this time, and hopefully you enjoy it. And yeah, hopefully maybe you looking to buy used gear. I will do a video on that because I think it's really beneficial. I'll give you a guide on how to do it, how much money I've saved buying used gear, because looking at all this gear and the gear behind me, I've saved myself a ton of money. If I were to buy this new, would be over $100,000, and yeah, I got it for a much less than that. I could buy a few cars for the money I've saved. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel with the algorithm. If you want to see any more videos in the future to keep updated, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, so I'm going to head off now, but I hope to see you in the next one. Alright, take care everyone, and see ya.